What's up, YouTube? Today's video is the next entry in my top 10 series, and today I'm going to talk about 10 games that are very expensive, but actually are worth the money. And one of the things I find is that a lot of the games now that I'm defining as expensive as over $100 aren't really worth it. They're something that you're either just buying because it's rare, or it's really not even that special or unique that's going to keep you coming back. So, I thought I would talk about 10 games I do feel that are worth the money, if you feel like paying the big bucks that they command. So, I'm going to start off with the two most obvious candidates. Flintstones Surprise at Dinosaur Peak, and Sunday Funday The Ride. Because these are, of course, two of the best games you can buy that are over $100. No, actually, that's what I'm joking about. These are not the types of games you're going to see in this video. I'm going to cover 10 games that I feel, again, offer something a little special for your money. So the first one of these, at number 10, is The Adventures of Lomax for PS1. This is a game that just recently became a game that's over $100, so I thought it was a little borderline to include it in this video, but it's something that I've owned for a really long time. Unfortunately, it does go for a lot of money now, and it is really a classy 2D platformer for the PS1. A lot of people say the PS1 cannot do 2D. For anyone that says that, I would definitely show them this game. The artwork in it is spectacular. Really is a good, tight controlling game. It was European developed. I believe it was 2 people that made this game. That was it. That were the main staff for this game. So it's even more remarkable when you consider that. But number 10, Adventures of Lomax, again offering a very stylish platformer for the PS1, and it is worth your money in my opinion. Number 9 is the only Super Nintendo game I included in this list. I have a lot of games for the Super Nintendo that now go for over $100, but the problem with the Super Nintendo, again, is that a lot of the games really just aren't that special once you get them. So this is one that is very unique amongst those Super Nintendo titles, and that is Wild Guns. This is just such a unique concept of a Wild Wild West with robots hybrid, and the way that it is a shooting into the screen style game. It's light gun style, but you don't have a light gun, and very challenging game, definitely. But once you get the hang of it, it's a lot of fun. And again, I feel it offers something unique that you're not getting typically for your $100 plus that you're going to spend on a Super Nintendo game. So, Wild Guns, I give this number 9. I also felt that I had to include a game for the Dreamcast in this list. I love the Dreamcast. I have a complete set of Dreamcast US titles. And I think that this is the one of the more expensive Dreamcast games that really stands out to me. And that is Cannon Spike. This is really how 2D and 3D hybrid shooting should be done. Very, very stylish graphics. They just have a really nice Dreamcast look to them. Looks great with the VGA adapter, and it has that classic Psycho 2D shooter gameplay, but brought to an overhead view 3D style game. Really unique, has some exclusive Capcom characters thrown in, along with the new characters that were part of the series, and really offers something special for your money for the Dreamcast, in my opinion. So number 8 is Cannon Spike. Number 7 is a game I featured in a recent video of best compilations of arcade games that you can get for home consoles, and that is the Sega Ages collection for the Sega Saturn. This game has really spiked in value over the last year, but I think it's worth it to this day because this is the best port of Outrun you can get for any home console. Even the Dreamcast versions of it are not as good as the Saturn one that's included on this. It has a 60 frames per second mode that you can unlock, has extra music, really looks beautiful. I'm a huge Outrun fan, and that's what makes this worth it for me. You also get the beautiful Working Designs case and all the foil cover art and everything on this, so it really makes it a very attractive game for your shelf. I just really love this collection. The Afterburner 2 and Space Harrier that are also included are top-notch if you like those games. It's just really the Outrun that sells this package for me. So to me, this game is worth the big money it goes for now. So number 7 is the Sega Ages collection for Sega Saturn. Number 6 is another game that I've talked about in several other videos, and again, it earns every accolade I've given it, and that is Musha for the Sega Genesis. Very, very stylish shooter. Has some really great depth and parallax going on with the graphics. The bosses are huge and very creative. I like the weapon system in this a lot. just really has that nice compile, developed feel that for this game that a lot of other shooters don't have. You know, there's a lot of quality that went into this title, and it's even more remarkable when you consider that this was a very early title for the Sega Genesis. So number 6, another game I feel is worth the crazy amount of money that it goes for, is Musha. Number 5 is another very expensive title, but again offering something very unique, and that is Panic Restaurant for the NES. I thought long and hard about what NES games to include in this video, and this one really stood out for me, even more so than Little Samson. Little Samson is a quality title as well, but I really like the uniqueness that Panic Restaurant brings to the platforming genre. You have all of the levels that are styled like restaurants, and food, and kitchen gadgets, and unique weapons based on all those things. There's some fun little mini games that are thrown in as well. Very, very creative title by Taito. It's extremely colorful. It's a late release NES game, so it uses that expanded color palette and graphics that you didn't get with the early NES games. But really enjoy Panic Restaurant every time I play it. So, number 5 on my list, I will give to Panic Restaurant on the NES. Number 4 is another game that I featured in a recent video of my Sega Saturn collection. And this is one of the import titles that was not released in the US that I really think is worth the money. And that is BetSugan. Just a very, very well done arcade port of an obscure arcade game by Toaplan. The arcade board, unfortunately, is even more expensive than the Saturn game, so you can't save any money by going that route. But very nicely done package. The graphics on this are beautiful. There's like lots of hidden extras in the game. Very, very challenging gameplay. Nice cast of characters to choose from, so you have a lot of variety. Just a very beautiful, well done shooter for the Sega Saturn. And I would say on my list, that gives it number 4. Number 3 is a very well-known title that has been expensive for a long time, even longer than many of the other games on this list, and I think it's because it's always justified the cost that it goes for, and that is Dracula X for the PC Engine. Again, an import title, but very worth going to the effort to track down. It's pretty easy to find, but it's just in such high demand that it commands such a really expensive price. The sound quality on this game is great. The Castlevania platforming that we all know and love is top-notch in this title. Just very, very well done game. You can get cheaper versions of this for the Sony PSP and some other ways, but this is the way to me to experience this game is on a Turbo Duo or PC Engine system. And to me, that gives it number 3 on my list of games that are worth the money that are quite expensive. So we're getting to my top 2 choices, and number 2 is another NES game. I just mentioned Musha, which is a fantastic compile shooter, and this is one I like even more by that developer, and that is Gun-Nac. Gun-Nac is quite possibly my favorite game on the NES. Just really, really well done shooting action, pushes the system, it's very fast-paced. You have, again, that wonderful compile weapons system. The levels are very weird with robotic bunny enemies and just a lot of strangeness going on. This game is also very challenging to find, so I think the expense is well worth it due to not only the quality of the game, but the rarity of the game. And yeah, overall, like I said, it's the best NES title in my opinion, so well worth anything you're going to pay for this game, especially if you come across it in the wild. So Gun-Nac is number 2 on my expensive games that are worth the money list. Which brings us to my number 1 title, and this actually was the inspiration for making this video. And the reason is I've been playing this game for the last 2 weekends. I've beat this game multiple times now, and I still keep coming back to it. And that is Snatcher on the Sega CD. This game is incredibly expensive. It's probably one of the more expensive games on this whole list. But I still think it's worth the money because it is so enjoyable to play through. It's a digital novel with light gun support, light gun action scenes. You can also use the control pad if you don't want to use the light gun, that's okay. But the story in this is so top-notch. It has the Hideo Kojima connection, and you can see some references to his other titles and the character names and some of the secrets in the game. It's a futuristic story of Neo-Kobe City, Japan in the 2040s. And just the story is so engrossing. It's a detective tale, a lot of gore and gruesomeness, a lot of interesting thoughts of what the future will be like. And just, again, it's a game that is not incredibly long to beat, but the replay value is still there because there's a lot of secrets you can still find. So, yes, I know this game goes for a crazy amount of money now. I did not pay a crazy amount of money for this game, but if you're going to spend a lot of money on a game, this is the one you should do it on. It's even worth buying a Sega CD just to play this game, in my opinion. So, with that said, hopefully you enjoyed my list. I would definitely like to hear what you guys feel are some of the best expensive titles over $100 that are worth the money. Maybe there's something I'm missing out on that I should be picking out myself. I like to plan those purchases as well, so definitely something I would want to research. But if you can tell me some of your own titles, I'm happy to hear those in the comments. So please take a moment, like, comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, and I will talk to you soon. Have a great day or night, wherever you are.